And you've said that your suspicion is that they have a popular product, Solpadeine, and that they realise, having lost money in one area, that they can make it up by, if you like, exploiting the popularity of their Solpadeine and charge it that way.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure what the manufacturers are doing or what the logic for the increases are. I don't understand that. What we do know is that they have reduced the price of a relatively small number of prescription medicines recently.
25%.
25%. Yeah. And they've managed to maintain very high prices for 75% of the really expensive medicines. And the fact is that those medicines that are off patent are going to reduce in price anyway because they're facing...
this could be counterproductive in a way. If people get really annoyed about this, there may be calls on the Minister to actually control the price of OTCs, which I don't think your members would want.
No, we wouldn't. I mean, already the Minister controls almost 75% of the business that goes to a pharmacy and can determine the price for that level of business. I think if you exert any further price control on it, you're practically, you're practically internationalization. I think that this is a very competitive market. Pharmacists are competing against one another. I think if you go into any supermarket and look at the price of a box of cornflakes for any of the major supermarkets, there's very little difference in price. And I think you will find that because people are conscious of what other people are charging, and people will want to compete, and people want to give value to the consumers and to the patients.
I'll just tell you what GlaxoSmithKline have told us. Solpadeine 24 capsules have been on a fixed price under the General Medical Card Scheme, the GMS, since 1995, when GlaxoSmithKline acquired the brand. Then in January 2010, Solpadeine 24 capsules were replaced on the GMS scheme by a larger 32 capsule pack, which is only available on prescription. So as a result of its removal from the GMS, only the capsule 24 pack was adjusted closer to the range, as its price has not been changed in 15 years. There's been no price change in the rest of the range. Now, can't really follow all that, to be quite honest, but they're saying that now that it's not available on the GMS, it's going to be available only to the private consumer across the counter in its 24 capsule form. They're now adjusting it to closer to the price of the rest of the range. So what does a 32 pack cost?
I actually don't know the answer to that, Pat, and I don't follow the logic of what you've read out.
No, I don't. Literally, that's what they gave us.
Yeah. I mean, I don't quite understand that.
See, there's another thing. Yesterday, one of the callers to Liveline told Joe that he bought Solpadeine for €1.50 or £1.50 maybe in Enniskillen. So we randomly called one chemist in Northern Ireland, Boots in Newry, to check the latest prices with them. They only stock Solpadeine in packs of 16 and 32. They charge $2.99 for 16, which would be about $4.50 for a pack of 24 if you adjust it, and they charge $4.99 for 32. So if you talk about 24 for over €6, there's a huge discrepancy between Newry and here. So you wonder how GlaxoSmithKline, if they're selling into Newry, are making a bob at all up there. God loves them.
Well, you would. I mean, the one thing I would say to your listeners is that if they want to buy Solpadeine or buy a product of that nature, they should always ask the pharmacist for an alternative cheaper. There are generic products in each pharmacy that are equally as good a value and a fraction of the cost, and they should always ask for those options when they go to a pharmacy. There are plenty of good painkillers on the market, and they should shop around first for the price, but equally then to talk to their pharmacist about getting the best value they can in a painkiller, and I think they'll be pleasantly surprised what they'll find.
Yeah, anyway, we got a statement from the department, and they said on July 1st, last Minister for Health and Children made regulations, etc. The main change is a new dispensing fee structure based on a sliding scale, €5 for the first 20,000 items, $4.50 for the next 10,000 items, $3.50 for the remaining items. The retail markup was reduced from 50 to 20%. Wholesale markup was reduced from 17.66% to 10% of the ex-factory price of the drugs. And then the Minister has been disappointed to learn that some pharmacists are not applying the fees and markups in this manner. The Minister has raised this matter with the Irish Pharmacy Union and intends to pursue it further. What do you think, Seamus?
Well, I thought, first of all, I should explain that the price reductions that came in on the 1st of February are actual reductions in the price of medicines.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I need to distinguish that from what happened last July. And I'm pretty sure that all our members will be passing on those reductions to them as soon as their old supplies disappear off the shelves.
But you think that in this case, what we're talking about, which is Solpadeine and perhaps a few more things, we haven't got a list because we only heard from Liveline about 2 products, but that this is nothing to do with you guys in the pharmacy union, you are applying your normal markups to the wholesale price as given to you by your distributor. And that's it.
Yes, and can I explain what happened last July was that the Minister didn't reduce the price of medicines last July. What the Minister reduced was the price at which he reimburses pharmacists for medicines. Now, and the regulation she introduced last July relates to medicines that are covered under various community drug schemes. What pharmacists charge for all other transactions is a matter for each individual pharmacist. But pharmacists are conscious of the need to be cost effective. They're conscious of the need to provide value. It's a competitive market, and if they're not providing value on the service, then patients will move.
But if it turns out that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 of your members are all charging precisely the same thing for Solpadeine, for example, wouldn't that be a remarkable coincidence in a competitive market?
I'm not sure that it would, because if I go into a supermarket, I can see the price of the cornflakes. There's very little variation in it.
Very little, but there is variation.
Well, for example, this morning before I come on air in relation to Nurofen, which is one of the products you mentioned to us earlier, that people are being charged between $4.81 and $7.89. Now, I just rang one particular pharmacist this morning and asked them what they were charging, and the price they were charging for a similar product is $4.60 up to $7.70. So there are variations in prices, and yet people shop around, and I think they'll find that. And there are also generic equivalents that are cheaper than those products and are equally as effective, and they should talk to pharmacists about availing of them.
All right, Seamus Feely, Secretary General of the Irish Pharmacy Union, thank you.